Hey folks, Mac T here, and I'm glad you're back with me here on this live broadcast. I'm just going ahead and getting things started, and the first thing I want to tell y'all, if you want to go ahead and get a hold of me, if you're watching this on YouTube, you got to go over here. Yes, Facebook. Join the Facebook group, MACTFORDEDGE, and you'll get a hold of me on there. There will be no comments or anything as far as responses on YouTube. You want to get a hold of me? Go over here, Facebook. That's right. Want to do that. And also, if you want to listen to this while you're driving down the road, go over here to the SoundCloud. Yes, podcast. You can listen to this on SoundCloud while you're driving down the road. If you feel like you just want to be annoyed by something, you just load me up and off we go, right? So anyway, welcome to the MACTFORDEDGE Live on this 10th of December. Yes, got one more, and then I think I'm going to call it quits for the year. Might do something special here before New Year's that I have planned, but other than that, I think I'll lay off on the Sunday things until the new year. Lots of things starting. I got some other things that are going. But first thing first, I want to take in a course. What do I always do, folks? Yeah, I always say welcome aboard to all the new members that have joined the MACTFORDEDGE Facebook group. And of course, I do want to wish all of you welcome aboard. Let me find out who y'all were. We had about 30 this time. And from everything that I've been, of course, watching, this group is growing just like mad, okay? I think we're going to definitely be putting a lot of effort into having a lot of new folks. But we have Mark and Christopher, Nancy, Daniel, Brenda, James, Matthew, Diego, Floyd, Christopher, Karen, Yasser, Luann, Skipper, Jack, Elizabeth, Brent, Morris, Jeffrey, Rolly, Tim, Mikkel, Arbab, Jose, Benjamin, Ian, Mark, Jeremy, Raul, and Manuel. Okay, so those are the 30 new members we had this last week, and that seems to be consistent with our growth every week. Sometimes more, sometimes less, but we are growing at a great rate, and we got a great bunch of people. And remember the rules, folks. We live by them. Treat everybody as if you were in kindergarten. Yes, be nice, share, and all that good stuff. No question is dumb. And of course, even though it might have been asked 1,000 times before, we also understand that it might have been the first time you had to ask it. So that's how we live by our mottos on that. Now, what else do we have going on in the group? We have a lot of different things going on, and of course, let's see what we have to start off with, because I know there's a lot of stuff going on here lately, and I think the number one thing is snow and cold. Yes, winter has hit us, so we have people putting snow tires on, brushing snow off. Some are hibernating in fear in their closets from the snowmageddon or whatever they want to call it. Rest assured, spring is around the corner, right? So we just got started. But anyway, we got all sorts of things going on. And of course, some people posting, let's see, Tony, he's got frost in his car in Georgia. And of course, John, he's got LED lights he's putting in, along with all sorts of things. Let's see, Fuad. Yes, he has a unique condition called cats. And apparently they're using his engine cover in a unique manner that it was not meant to be used for. We've seen mice. You know, maybe you need to get your cats with the people that got mice, and then we can get this whole thing figured out. But anyway, yeah, they've done a number on his engine cover. You know, got to be nice to the cats, I guess. There's a lot of suggestions and innuendos as to what to do with the cats, but we don't want to hurt them. We just want to deter them, right? So, yeah, there's probably something you can spray in there. I don't know. You're going to have to experiment. Cats are weird all by themselves. Dogs. I'd put a dog in the car and see if that keeps the cats away. I don't know. It's a weird thing. So anyway, wish you the best of luck in your pet deterrent there. Let's see, what else we got? Yeah, I posted a photo. It says, what's wrong with this picture? And I had no gear indicator light on my dash, on my display. That's been going on for a while, folks. If I wait about 30 seconds to a minute, it pops up. Just when I go to park. All the other times it all works. Just when I go to put it in park. Hey, Claire posted something really good for the group. Seatbelt extensions. If you have not gotten a seatbelt extension, they are no charge. Yes, you can buy. You don't have to buy them. You can go get them at your Ford dealership. Just tell them you want to get them for the rear 3 seats, and it makes it easy for the little ones to click in, right? We want to teach them how to do that. So you can click them in there, and of course that makes it easier for them to actually attach their seat belts. I myself am going to go get some of these little babies and put them in my cars so that I have them also, because my little ones are always arguing about the seat belts. So this might make it a little bit easier for them when they're in there, especially when we got 3 of them in there arguing and fussing. So we can go ahead and get those. But they're free of charge, no charge. Just go into your local Ford dealership and snag those seatbelt extensions. And I'll post a picture of that while I'm in here talking about it in the YouTube video. But it is in the Facebook group. You can see it and, of course, see what they look like. Let's see. We got all sorts of things going on. Apparently, we got a repaired PCM and plugs and everything else is going good. And then, of course, navigation cards. Navigation cards. What can I say about them? If they stop working, just dislodge it, click it out, put it back in, restart, and it should start back up. If it doesn't, the card is probably damaged. Just keep in mind, folks, the more these things read and write, the more they get worn out and have a chance of failure. Heat, cold, all this other stuff is hard on those electronics. And then, of course, let's see, what else do we have? Let's see, we have, of course, all sorts of other things going on. I'm just trying to keep up here with everybody. They're all riding and everything. But let's see, John, he posted an Edge Sport came into the shop there, and that thing's looking mighty tough. Yes, there's all sorts of things wrong with it. It's just abuse by the owners, not taking care of their Edge. Imagine that. Holy cow. They must not be a member of this group if they're doing that to their Edge. That's all I can say. Let's see, what else? Yes, we did have a question on, do you have to take the bumper cover off in order to remove the radiator? And that is a big oh yes. You do have to remove that radiator or bumper cover in order to get that radiator out. Okay? So, but the good thing is, gentleman, Johnny, did manage to get that radiator out, and apparently he used it for something other than the purpose it was intended. He ended up having to replace it. He's put it in a brand new set of OEM fans in there, I guess, and now the Edge is running sweet and not overheating. So that always is good when we find out that repairs have been successful. In case you were all wondering here, John Martin has put out a little bit of notice. He has a 2011 Ford Edge Sport, black in color, the whole 9 yards there. He has it for sale. So if you're in the market for a pretty decent Edge and you want to talk and negotiate with him on price, whatever whatever he's going to do with you, that's up to you, the buyer and the seller, right? But it is for sale. So just also want to remind you all, if you go up to the top of the post and you hit more, you can go down and you can hit buy or sell something in the post in the group, and then you can list price and information and all this other stuff in there to try to sell your Edge if you want to try to post that you're selling it in the group. We have no problem with that. If you want to try to do that, that's that's what we're here for, to help you fix it, repair it, sell it, whatever you're going to do. So let's just move along here. Let's see. Oh my gosh, Mano posted pictures of his Edge covered in snow, his yard and everything else, y'all might want to take a gander at those photos. He doesn't generally post too many of his edge in the yard, so if you want to know what his yard looks like, hey, you might not see him, but you can see his grassy, snowy yard, and that might satisfy some of you as to your curiosities. But anyway, he's got that. And then let's see, Cam, he's got a lot more snow going on there for him. And Kevin, he's just running around taking beautiful pictures. And you will see his banner picture I put up on the banner, folks. I have never done this, but that picture's staying up for the rest of the month. Yes. I'm not going to touch it. That's it. You probably see me switching pictures all the time. I just love that picture so much. It's staying up. Something I've never done. So, you know, if you want pictures, you know, follow what Kevin does. And, of course, get pictures like that. And then you can get up there for a while. But I tell you, great photos. And, of course, we got some announcements. Kevin will probably tell you the announcements later on here once we get going on. But I'm sure that he'll be happy to help you out with some of those Band of One stickers. So I'll let him take care of whatever he's going to take care of with that. But I think those will be available here at the first of the year if you want to start having those Band of One. They're pretty neat little stickers, I think. I got them on all my cars. But anyway, we got those. Let's see, Clinton, he went and had a, looks like he had a fuel injector issue where he had one that had a resistance of 29, while the others were had a 29 ohms, and then the others were 11.8, which tells you that he had a bad injector. And of course, I have not replaced injectors, and it's really silly because I got 6 of them sitting right behind me. But then again, I got 200 and almost 20,000 miles on my Edge, and I'm still on the original injectors. I don't know. Dumb luck, good maintenance, whatever it is. My injectors are working great. I monitor them all the time, so I know that they're in good shape. But he had a connector that went bad too. So what he's doing is he's replacing it. If you saw what I did with my coils, I replaced the plug connector and kept the wires. But you can also buy the little wire tips too and replace those. But he's going to replace the plug and maybe the wire ends too, the little inserts that go in there. But he's going to rebuild that plug and replace it, and then hopefully you won't have a problem then with it after that. But he does have new injectors in now, and of course the purge valve solenoid, I think he's replacing that also. Let's see, what else do we have going on here? Let's see, Sandy finally moved. Sandy, I don't understand. Sandy lived in Florida. Then she got a U-Haul and moved to, I don't know where, but it has snow. I don't understand. I'm confused. I thought we moved from snow to Florida or something like that, but apparently there's a draw for her to go back to the snow, and welcome, Sandy, to the snow. That's all I can tell you. Yeah, Monday morning, snow, moving. Oh, man, the house is going to be terrible. All that snow being trudged inside trying to move in. I feel for you on that. Just hopefully you make it. Let's see, what else we got? Jeffrey's trying to put some larger tires, so to speak, on his Edge. And they aren't necessarily that much larger. A little wider, but I think, you know, from everything everybody helped him, there is a car tire comparison size calculator. You can find those on the web everywhere. Use it. It helps you determine what size tires you're going to put on your Edge and whether or not they will fit. Okay, so and then the wheels and all this other stuff. You got to make sure you buy the right stuff, but you can get what you need through that size chart and get the right size tires. Or any tire store should be able to help you out with that too. Let's see. Then Kevin, he was showing an Amish or Mennonite lady using a cell phone. Okay, we move on. That's sort of a contradiction, isn't it? Anyway, let's see. Lots of snow pictures, folks. Lots of snow pictures. And then let's see. something about Honda replacing airbags. They had a program where they went out and went to everybody's houses and hunted down people with Hondas to replace airbags, which is fine. I mean, it's a good program. Very labor intensive, but it is a very good customer service program. You know, if Ford would do that, that'd be great. Come to your house, say, hey, we got an airbag. You want us to change it? You know, that'd be great, especially if it's recalled. But that not quite happening that way with Ford. So, you know, every company's going to treat this airbag thing differently. But yeah, man, I'd be impressed if they showed up to my door and said, hey, can we change your airbag? That'd be, you know, how would you feel about it if Ford did that? Yeah, we'd all probably be, hey, thumbs up, good job, right? So, let's see. We had some other things going on here. What is it? Christmas lights coming out, all sorts of neat stuff going on, but mostly a lot of snow and other things that are happening, and of course going on there. I don't see too much else. Oh, something else that I did post up, you know, not that this is a Ford Ranger group page, but you know, some of you do know that I have Rufus, my 1997 Ford Ranger. I did not have the time. I know, I didn't have the time, and I had the money. So it's one of those things where I wanted to get Rufus back on the road so I could start driving him, and I just don't have the time to fix him. Although I have the ability, I don't have the time. So I went and took Rufus to the garage on the Rock Island Army base, and the mechanics there are going to rebuild the entire rear suspension with the parts I provided and redo the entire rear end of Rufus so I can safely drive Rufus down the road, because I was worried the axle was going to pop out because there's really nothing hardly holding it. So we got it there, and they're going to rework it, and I'll have Rufus back with brand new suspension on the rear. Then I can start working on the front and then hopefully start getting some stuff done there. But for right now, that's what I got going on. I just got to get him back and pay him, and then I'll have Rufus up and running. So I'm happy about that. That's, to me, that's exciting. But let's see, what else? Let's see. We had a meeting of the minds between Jan King and Mike Osborn down in their neck of the woods, and they got together, and I like to see that. Yes, Jan down in Oklahoma with Mike, they got together. I don't know if what it involved. Was it adult beverages, smoked pork? I don't know. I didn't ask them, you know, all the ins and outs, but they are smiling, so they must have had fun. And I really want you all to get to know your neighbors. And of course, it also helps. Maybe they can help you with a question. If you got somebody nearby, say, hey, how do you do this? And if you know how to do it, help them. Hey, saves us all money, right? And it doesn't hurt to feel that feel-good thing. And who knows, you know, you help somebody, then pay it forward. Help somebody else, whatever it comes down to. But I'm glad to see Jan and Mike got together and had a great time. We're just going to have to teach Jan how to do some selfies, right? We got to get Jan a selfie stick. His arms are short or something. But anyway, Mike's having a great time watching Jan work with the phone there. But anyway, it was a great deal. Natasha posted something up that is a topic of discussion, and that is that fixed OBDII thing, and I will be addressing that shortly. I just wanted to mention that. Otherwise, just a lot of snow pictures. Pretty calm week, really, for the most part. A lot of Christmas shopping, and others, you know, enjoying the holiday and everything. People are busy. I see that in all sorts of things going on. So all I can tell y'all is it's cold, be safe, winter roads, drive slower, prepare to stop, get snow tires. All-wheel drive is not always the answer for everything, especially when it comes to turning and stopping, right? Yeah, keep that in mind. You know, I always preach that. You're only as good as your tires when it comes to turning and stopping, no matter how many wheels are turning. So we want to make sure that we do go over that. But at least be said, I do not have a spotlight video today. And the reason I don't have a spotlight video is no one has sent me any video. I haven't gotten anything. Okay? So if I don't get anything, I can't make a spotlight video on y'all. So this is my plea to all of you that have Ford Edges. Make a video. Be proud of your Ford Edge. Show us what you've done. If you haven't done anything about it, tell us how you wash it every day and shine it and wax it and make it look better than Bill's Lou, which ain't hard. I mean, you set it out in the rain, it's probably going to look better than mine. But I did wash Lou today, by the way. But anyway, you know, be proud about it. Upload the video to me. I got the OneDrive, or you can send me a link from your cloud system and I'll download it, and then we'll make it into a video. Show us the inside of what you got. Show us the outside. You don't have to say anything if you don't want to. Okay, I can put music to it, whatever. But it's nice if you narrate just a little bit. Turn your phone sideways, not like this, but sideways. Okay? Otherwise the video's no good and I can't use it. Okay? So that's really what I want y'all to do. So kind of pleading with y'all to help me out. I can't create content without content being provided. So that's pretty much where I'm at. But there's no video on that we're going to be doing. Ford Edge news really hasn't developed much on the Ford front either. I think everything's in the holiday phase. We know what happens when it hits December. Boom, even work production goes up in some places, but others it starts going way off, and that is predominantly what's happened to the YouTube channel, Facebook group, all this other stuff slowing down. So we're just going to move on. Since we don't have any of those topics to cover, I do want to cover something very specific in that, and that is this OBD links, OBD 2 devices. Okay, I've owned 3 of them. I'm going to talk about a few more than that, but the first thing I want to tell you is I'm not going to tell you how to use these things. Predominantly, I'm not going to show you how to do that. I've made a video on how to use them, how to install them, specifically on a few of them. But I do want to talk about how do we, the consumer, use it, and how do we approach the mechanic. This thing is not a gotcha, okay? That is not what it's for. So one thing I wanted to cover with y'all is I have these devices here. And as you can see, that's what they are, okay? Both of them. This one here is the V-Peak, and this is the OBD Lynx MX. Both Bluetooth, okay? Both nice little dongles, and as you can see, their height difference is definitely, a change. This one costs less, this one costs more. So I guess bigger is better, but not always, okay? So we got the V-Peak and the OBD Lynx MX. I'm going to tell you that OBD Link MX is a Bluetooth. It is not Apple iOS compatible. It's Android and Windows. Okay? The V-Peak is Android and Windows compatible. It is not iOS. But they do make an iOS version of this. Okay? That is what I do know. And the information that I got on there as far as dealing with these things. They have the V-Peak Mini. It's a OBD2 scanner adapter for iOS and Android. Okay? OBD Lynx MX is not up to that. I haven't seen one that is there. But the price for this little guy right here, $17. Price for this one, $79. Okay, the OBD Lynx MX is $79. I've had this one for about a year. I've had this one for over 15 months. This one does not turn off. It's always on in your car. It's always on. So therefore, it is a parasitic draw on your battery if you leave it in all the time. This one is not a parasitic draw. It sleeps. Very, very small draw. So when it has inactivity, the OBD Lynx MX turns off and goes to sleep. Then it wakes up when you start trying to access it. So it does have a minor parasitic draw because it has to remain active to accept a signal, but it does not drain the battery. Whereas this one won't drain the battery either. I don't think it has a big draw, but this one does go to sleep. Okay, but these devices are good. And I will say the OBDII Lynx MX runs 24/7 in my Ford Edge. I use that thing. It's plugged in all the time, and I use it as I'm driving down the road. The other one sits, I use this one in my wife's Edge, and it's on 24/7. They both work. After 12 months of continuous use, they both work. Now, I did buy the I forget what it was. It was a ELM 327. And I did a review on it. Okay? And this ELM 327 was a Wi-Fi. One, the Wi-Fi was a little tiny bit slower. And I had a problem connecting to it all the time. It was always an issue. And it died. It just up and died. I sent it back and got my money back. So in the ELM 327, you see how short these are, right? The ELM 327 was like that big. Yeah, that thing was like that big, just like that. It stuck out. It was a knee knocker under there. So the ELM 327 was a much larger device, and it didn't work as good. So now, as far as these other devices, you can go out and get some. And maybe like a Wi-Fi, if you do a Wi-Fi dongle, working with your iPad or something like that, you might be able to get it to work that way. But Bluetooth, that I have, I use, my Android phone all the time and do it. But they are durable. This one is not programmable. I have not seen anything where I can update anything in it. The VPeak. The OBDII Lynx MX, using the native program that it comes with, that you can then download and update the information on here, the how do you say it, the programming of it. You can update it, and I've done that. Now there is a problem. Some have tried when they did it and they turned it into a brick. I don't know how they did it or what happened, but it's very specific on each step of what you do. But I updated mine, and it took, and I didn't have any problems. It works fantastic. So it is updatable as far as programming through the program that it comes with. Okay, so you can do that. So don't discard that program because it is viable. But what I do use is Forescan Lite with my OBDII Lynx and also the VPeak. Forescan Lite is a Ford proprietary program. In other words, it works mostly with just the Fords and the Toyotas. That's all it works for. And since we're talking Ford Edge, that's what I'm doing with this thing, is I'm reading all the parameter IDs that are on there. And of course, then I can follow what's going on, look for DTCs and all this stuff through Ford programming. Now, covering all that, we got all our information. You can read your PCM, BCM, you can read everything you want for diagnostic trouble codes, DTCs as we call them. You can do that, or you can read the PIDs, the parameter IDs, you got all those. Now here's the deal, the PIDs and all this other stuff, I'm going to compare this fixed dongle that they were talking about. And first of all, I'm going to address the discussion on it. The way it was presented was more of a gotcha. I'm not into the gotcha, okay? I'm into what is going on with my Edge. And here's what I use my OBDII Lynx MX for. I run it all the time when I'm driving. Every once in a while I'll get in. I've been monitoring my Ford Edge, my 2011 Ford Edge, for 15 months. I can now pull up any PID that I want to check, and I can tell now what is normal. Okay? What is normal? Now, we don't know what normal is because when we first open this up, it is like a brand new world. Something we've never seen as a consumer before. And then you load this thing up, open your phone, you log in, you get it all set up, you pull all your PIDs, you start monitoring these PIDs, you start seeing problems or whatever it is. But the first thing we're going to do is check our PIDs. What's my engine doing? Is this coolant temperature good? Is this transmission temperature good? Is the fuel injector's voltage good? You can tell all this information. Now, I've learned everywhere that my Ford Edge runs, I know what normal is. I know that in the cold winter time, my transmission fluid will run cooler. And it'll vary depending on the temperature. I've learned that. I've learned in a hot summertime, my transmission fluid can edge up to 210 degrees or a little bit higher. I also learned that that is normal for the most part. My coolant temperature. I've learned in the summer, if I'm running 198 to 200 degrees, that is normal for my Edge. Cruising down the highway, that is a normal engine temperature. I've learned that my injectors run pretty much at the voltage that my alternator is putting out. It's almost equal. So I know if my alternator is putting out 14 volts, that my injectors are going to be absorbing that 14 volts. That's pretty much what I've determined. So, in watching everything, a cylinder head temperature, as I've seen that, slip range for my transmission. I know what the actual slip ranges are as far as the shift and everything else. I know what is is good and what is bad. I also know line pressures on my transmission because I watch them enough. I know that. I know my air conditioning pressure. I know everything because I've checked everything, so I now know what normal is. So when something's wrong, can I register and get on there and understand that, hey, this ain't normal? What is my fuel trims at? Now, if I start seeing 15% for my fuel trim, I say, hey, that's not normal because it always runs like 70, 0.75, 2.3. It always runs that. Now it's running 15. I can recognize immediately that ain't right. Okay, so you can really learn a lot about your vehicle by monitoring this, watching it, and then you can learn when it's sick, when something ain't right. Like your fans. It'll tell you if your fans are on and when they're off. This device provides you with a lot of information, but it also makes you and provides you with DTCs. Now, I talked about the parameter IDs, got that out of the way. Now we're talking about diagnostic trouble codes. And this is where this other device, they're advertising there, oh, buy it, take it to mechanic and tell your mechanic he's terrible. He lied to you. He's trying to rip you off. Well, guess what, folks? When you have a DTC, you look up that DTC and you look up that P code, whatever it is, and then you go look at it for evap leak. Guess what? It's going to go, could be this, 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 this. It'll list half a dozen things that you need to check. So these devices are not going to tell you that for sure this is what the problem is. It's not going to do it. You have to use this then. These things here are a tool. Yes, they're a tool to help you use this to figure out what the problem is. That's what it's for. It is not a gotcha moment where you plug it in and tell your mechanic that, bang, this is the problem, because there's a list of problems he's going to come back and tell you, well, okay, but it could be any of these 6 things. But an experienced mechanic will say, well, I've seen this before. I can pretty much check these 3, 4 things off. It's probably this because we have a car come in once a week with this problem. Okay? So, there's experience that goes with this. You use your experience, you use your knowledge, and you use your equipment to determine what repairs you do. Now, we could go and start going and then we can fire the parts cannon at this thing, right? Well, gee, it's overheating. Let's replace the water pump. Let's replace the radiator. Let's replace the coolant, the thermostat, and the cylinder head temperature sensor. And then now it's not overheating. But the question is, what single part was causing the overheating? Well, you replaced everything, so now you don't know. It's that simple. So that's the problem, okay? We don't want to do that, so we want to make sure that we do use these tools appropriately. And I saw that video on that device, and they're selling it like it's the end-all, end-all, right? And you all know when you come to this group, we give you a list of things that could be the problem. Not just one, and sometimes I'm guilty of jumping over to the thing, but you know what? When you explain what it's doing, sometimes I just jump right on in and I say, this has got to be what it is, because, man, we've seen this thing so many times, and I have been, yeah, okay, I've been wrong. Well, hey, sometimes we jump and then we don't look, and sometimes we get caught up in it. But that's also why, as a group, we have some decent and great mechanics, and we got all sorts of people with technical knowledge that are willing to help. And we as a village can figure this out. And then we don't throw the parts cannon at it. We don't want to do that, right? We don't want to take and just throw a bunch of parts at it and say, well, one of them fixed it. But that gets expensive. So listen to the group. We try to walk you through this stuff. And these devices are well worth the money, folks. I'm not telling you not to buy one. This one here, you know, is well worth the money, in my opinion. It helps me diagnose a lot of things to give me the trail that I need to follow. Do I wish I had a scanner? You betcha. Now, these things here are not bi-directional. Okay? If you want something that is bi-directional, that can turn off injectors, that can turn off and on certain functions of your car, you need to have something like an Ethos scanner from Snap-on or something, some scanner, and those cost a lot more money, that are what we call bi-directional. This bi-directional piece of equipment will be able to communicate with all these parameter IDs, and they'll be able to go to these different systems, and through a flick on the screen you can make it turn on, turn off, you can clear codes, you can clear memories and reset things, you can reprogram things, you can do a lot of stuff with these, but they are pricey, okay? Definitely not the average DIYer's toolbox kit, because you're going to spend thousands of dollars on these things for the really, really good ones, and tens of thousands. I don't know what they cost, but they're above my Harbor Freight budget. So I don't have one. I have access to a Snap-on, but it's at Rock Island. So if I really need to see one, I can do that. But the thing is, these things are where you're going to get the information that you need to fix it, because it's got a complete library on what to look for, descriptions of the problems, and everything that goes with it. And these are true scanners that will help you. These things only help you determine which direction to go, but it will not help you actually diagnose the issues. Okay, it doesn't have the bidirectional, so it can't help you in the ultimate end. And that's why a lot of us will go so far and we'll have to say, man, I gotta go over to the dealer because this is above my pay grade, as they said in the military, and I need to go and have the dealership break out the big tools so we can get this figured out for a diagnostic fee and all this other stuff. And there's nothing wrong with that. You can use this to say, hey, I want you to do a diagnostic on it. I think it's this because this is the DTC I'm getting. It helps the mechanic know which direction to go. Are they going to listen to you 100%? Probably not, but they're going to go with their diagnostics on it, and they're going to see what it says, and they're going to be able to drill down. This only lets you drill down to a certain point, okay? The scanners drill deep. We're only hitting the surface with these devices. So we have to learn to be a good consumer in dealing with our mechanics, but also hold our mechanics, to the stone there, we want to make sure that they're treating us right too, but be respectful in the same. It's a two-way street. You can demand, hey, what's going on? Show me, show me a screen printout of what you saw here and what made you determine that this is bad. You paid the diagnostic. Why can't you get the information? Okay? Sort of like the doc telling you got cancer, but not showing you the lab results. Well, show me the lab results. Boom, you got it. That's what I want dealerships to understand. When we pay a diagnostic fee, give me a few screenshots to satisfy my curiosity and make me feel like, hey, I'm valuable enough for you to show me this. This is why, in these little wavy lines, whatever. Imagine if the dealer said, yeah, these little wavy lines, that's what a good one looks like, and this is a bad one looks like, and that one's yours. Yours is bad. And you'd be like, wow, you're great. You're a great mechanic. Fix the car. He fixes it. It runs. Boom, we're all happy, right? That's all it really takes. And, of course, just imagine if you could do that. But these links here, these OBD links, MX, the V-Peak, under 20 bucks, folks. If you want to get started on something this Christmas, get one of these little V-Peaks. And the 4Scan program, you can download it into your Android phone for $4.99, I think, or something like that. And it will then start getting hooked up. You see my video, it'll show you how to get it all started on the 4Scan Lite. There's other programs out there, but the 4Scan Lite is directed specifically at the Ford product. So that's something that you can actually do there. But overall, that's really what I was trying to aim at on my discussion on all this, in trying to cover these OBD links and the dongles and devices and everything else, is consumer responsibility, folks. Don't go in there with a gotcha moment like I saw in that video. Granted, it makes great advertising. Oh yeah, I can put it to my mechanic. But you know what? Use your heads on this, okay? Use this as a tool to help determine, to help your mechanic, if you're not going to fix it yourself, to help them be more streamlined in getting things fixed, okay? And also to verify. It never hurts. But keep in mind, it's not infallible. There are times you plug this in, it will not read a code. You may actually have to have that mechanic go in and dig deep, and there may not be codes on stuff. So it's not the end-all, end-all. There are a lot of vehicle issues that happen that, with a Ford Edge, you aren't going to find with these. And, they can advertise all day long what they want. Okay? So I'm not going to say on that video, on that product there, that it's good or bad, but I will tell you, it's sort of dumbed down the experience. I did not see where it was reading parameter IDs and giving real-time feedback. It was more like it was providing you with, hey, this is your problem and you need to fix it. Go to your mechanic and tell him to replace that part. That ain't how it works, folks. Definitely not going to work out well for you. It's essentially consumer dumbed down. And everybody's buying into it, and that's what this device has done. So it's essentially dumbing you down. If you really want to get something, get a true OBD reader with a good program, and it will give you far more information than what that is. Because that device I saw there is just consumer dumbed down. And, it's not really worth what, you're looking for. It's not going to help you like you can get into real-time data. So that's my 2 cents worth, I guess, on how to utilize these devices. Right or wrong, you guys that are mechanics can chew me up and spit me out, whatever you want to do. But I'm trying to be, even-keeled on this so that everybody understands that, these things aren't the magic wand. They're just a tool in the toolbox that you can use, and also monitor your car. Know when things are wrong and try to plan ahead to what's going on. But basically that's it, folks. This is MACT. I hope you enjoyed the conversation as far as me telling you what this was. And by all means, join up MACT Ford Edge here on Facebook. and by all means participate in this group, because if you join up, you get the information for free. Amazing, isn't it? And of course, we all share with each other all the time. And then of course, YouTube channel, folks, join up here on this YouTube channel, subscribe, and of course, you get a chance, hit that like button for me while you're watching that little 3, 4, 5 minutes of my long videos, and at least give me a good job on that one. Put a lot of work into it. And then of course, my feet hit the floor today, and I'm having a great day, and I want you all to have a great day too. And then this video here will be on SoundCloud in a podcast, so check the SoundCloud out. And then of course, Mercy Girl's going to toss a couple of one-liners at you, and then the Band of One will play the final music as we're going through the whole system here, and then maybe some bonus footage at the end. But that's it, folks. I hope you have a great day.
Thank you for watching MACT's videos, and remember to like and subscribe. This is a Mercy Girl production.